Hey, the AF101 Air Fryer is Ninja Kitchen's longest running product. In fact, it was released back in 2018 and is still manufactured today. In this video, we're going to test it, review it, and try to figure out why the heck they're still making this thing. So you ready? Let's get into this. Just a quick note, my reviews are based upon the things that I think are important. That might be a little bit different for you, so what I recommend doing is after watching my video, you watch a couple of other videos made by different content creators. That way you'll get a wider range of likes, dislikes, and testing criteria, which will help you make a much more informed buying decision, and that is the most important thing of all. This is the Ninja AF101 Air Fryer. Sort of lazy naming because the AF part stands for air fryer, and 101 is for the first one. You know, kind of like when you were a freshman in college, which ironically is the year I dropped out. That's why I make YouTube videos for a living. Anyway, like I said in the intro, this is the longest running product that Ninja Kitchen makes. In fact, this is, I believe, the original air fryer that they ever produced. The reason I'm reviewing this now is I wanted to see exactly what the deal is with Ninja selling a product that they developed 8 years ago. Also, I'll be pointing out some things on this that I think have probably changed a little bit over the years. First thing I noticed is that this thing is covered with glossy plastic. And if you've seen any of my other videos, then you know exactly how much I hate black glossy plastic. In fact, I bet you're really familiar with this because if you've got a car, it's got some of this in it and it's probably scratched, blotchy, and covered in fingerprints. The entire exterior is covered with that, but at least certain portions of it are gray. The gray doesn't pick up fingerprints nearly as bad. Well, they do, but you just don't see them as much. If you look at the back of this thing, you can see we have our vent right here. Just be careful not to put this too close to your wall because you don't want to block that off. Then looking around the other side, you can see there's really not much to see on the exterior. You do have this vent on top. Just be careful not to have your hands or anything really close to this when you're operating it because that's going to burn you. One additional thing to note about that is if you're going to be putting this on a countertop that's got upper cabinets above it, remember that you're going to get smoke and steam coming off the top of this. So those uppers could get damaged over time if you're using this underneath those. The plastic on this is all BPA free, which I'm going to go ahead and guess that that is a relatively recent thing because the BPA free stuff hasn't really been that mainstream for all that long. The handle down here looks chrome, but it is actually just chrome painted plastic as well. So be careful with that because you could scratch that right off of here. If we look at the back again, the power cable on this is about 2.5 feet long, which is a little bit on the smallish side. For most people, it's probably going to be okay. But if you're using it on an island like this, you could have a problem with this not being long enough to reach your outlets unless you've got this pushed back on your counter. My island's a little bit on the big side, so it is a little bit of a chore getting this plugged in and still being able to pull this near the front. Right here is your air fry basket, and this has a 4-quart maximum capacity. This right here is your air fry tray. It is elevated above the surface a little bit with these little silicone feet, so that way you have a little bit of a lower chance of liquid that comes off the bottom of your food getting up high enough to get the bottom of your stuff all moist. There is the inside of the bowl. It's got some indentions right here. Those are actually feet for the back. So if I put it down on a countertop, it'll sit flush without bouncing around. The nonstick surface on this and on the air fry tray is ceramic nonstick. The ones that were produced back in 2018 when this came out, probably gonna be Teflon coating. What? But it's nice to see that since they're still producing it, they did update that surface. Like I said, this does have a 4-quart capacity, but let's take some measurements. So if we have the air fry tray in the machine, you have about an 8.25 inch width. And as far as depth goes, you got about 3.5 inches. If I take the air fry tray out, then your depth is going to get increased to 4.75 inches. Either way, not super big. In fact, if we want to measure this entire machine, it is 13.5 inches tall, and that takes into consideration that this vent sticks up a little bit, and it does have a little bit of a bulbous shape, so it is a little bit smaller at the top than it is at the bottom. So we'll get the other measurements from down here. So for width, we are at about 10.5 inches, and for depth, if we go all the way to the front of the handle, we are a shade under 14 inches. As far as the control panel goes, this is going to be about as simple as it can possibly get. We have our on-off button right there. You've got your start pause button that will start whatever you're doing or pause it. Duh. You got temperature controls here, time controls here, and then you have your 4 modes. Of the mode, you can air fry, roast, reheat, or dehydrate. And that's about it. Your temperature and time ranges up here are going to be affected by which button you push down here. So for instance, if I'm going to just do a reheat, you see it's blinking at 350 degrees. This can go up to 400 max, which is the maximum for everything on this machine. And that goes all the way down to 270 degrees. As far as time goes, it defaults at 15 minutes, but you can bring that all the way down to a minute, or you can bring it up to an hour max. Why it would take you an hour to reheat something? Don't know. If I were to go into air fry mode, it'll have the same maximum temperature at 400, but if you want to go down to the minimum, this is going to stop at 300. Again, minimum time is 1 minute, and maximum time would still be an hour. If I go into roast, that ranges between 250 on the low end, and again, 400 on the high end. Time works a little bit differently on the roast feature though, so you can get this above an hour. Up to 4 hours maximum. The last feature is dehydrate, and you can see that defaults at 150 degrees. I can put this all the way down at the low end being 105, and it'll go all the way up on the high end to 195 degrees. Time on this can go much, much higher though. So if I'm doing this, you can see that looks like 5:15. That's not 5 minutes and 15 seconds, that's 5 hours, 30 minutes. And you can put this all the way up to 12 hours maximum. So that's really all the function that you get out of this thing. And that's because this was designed at a time where nobody thought you needed to do anything other than air frying in your air fryer. Whereas nowadays, every single air fryer's got 15, 16 different functions, 5 or 6 of which just don't work at all or perform really poorly. As far as noise goes, this thing can be a tiny bit noisy, but it's not too bad. Let's do a little sound check to see. Okay, we'll put this right above the vents. And it looks like we hit about 67 degrees at the top end. So it's not the loudest machine in the world, but it's also not the quietest. To give you some context, if you have a microwave or something that hangs over the top of your range and you have your fan on it, this is just about as loud as those things are on a low setting. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. By now you're probably thinking, Joe, why don't you just shut the heck up and tell us how well it works? I agree, it's about time, so let's get into it. For the first test, I air fried a personal sized pizza. This was one of those DiGiorno deep dish frozen pizzas. One thing to note is that this machine does not have a preheat mode. So if you need to preheat the air fryer, you're gonna have to add a little bit of extra time on your cook time and just let it run a little bit before you put your stuff in. So with that in mind, I set the time and temperature, gave the air fryer about 3 minutes to heat up, and then popped in the pizza. I did end up giving it probably a little bit too much time, so with about 2 minutes left, I popped the pizza out of the air fryer, and here's how it looked. You can see that you got nice color all around the crust. All the toppings are cooked really nice, and the top side is nice and crunchy. If I turn this upside down so you can see the bottom of the pizza, you can see that there's not a ton of color in the middle of the crust on the bottom. It does have a nice crunch to it, but it could definitely be cooked more. Keep in mind that I doubt that it was intended to do pizzas in it, especially when a personal pizza takes up the entire space inside the machine, and the only real way you can get any heat up underneath it is for it to circulate down in there. That's kind of hard to do when the pizza's not giving you any space to get around the edges. So if you think about that limitation, the fact that it's got any crunch to it at all on the bottom is sort of a miracle. Next, I did a second air fry test with something more traditional, so I threw in 2 pounds of curly fries. I set the temperature to 360 degrees, the time to 12 minutes, and I let it run. About halfway through, I did pull out the basket and toss the fries around a little bit, just to make sure that everything was getting evenly cooked. Popped it back in and let my air fry finish. Once that got done, the results on these French fries was actually really good. If you're looking close at these, you can see that they're all nice and golden brown. And better yet, that color is nice and consistent pretty much all across everything in there. All the fries came out nice and crunchy. I don't have any stragglers that are raw or anything like that. And they did end up with a really satisfying amount of crunch to them. For my next test, I did a roast test. And for that, I took 2 chicken breasts. I oiled, seasoned them, and put them down on the crisper tray. And if you notice, 2 chicken breasts pretty much fills this machine up. I could have probably squeezed the 3rd one in there, but that would have cut down circulation quite a bit. Anyway, I set the machine to 375 degrees, put 30 minutes on the timer, and let it run. That is a little bit high for chicken breast, but since it's such a small space and there is a fan in there, it's gonna tend to cook it a little bit quicker. So I wanted to make sure that I got a nice crust on it too. For a couple of minutes in the middle of the cycle, I did open the machine up and turn the breasts upside down just so those bottoms would cook a little bit better. And then a little bit later, I flipped them back over just to finish crusting the top. Once it got done, you can see right here that the breasts had some nice color to them. I know it's hard to tell, but they do have a nice little crunch to the top of them as well. After they got done resting, I cut into the thickest part of each breast just to make sure they cooked all the way through. And you can see that the results are really, really nice and the chicken's still nice and juicy. So really, I got about as good a result as I could possibly ask for on that. Next, I went on to testing the dehydrate feature. For this, I figured we'd do a little bit of beef jerky. So I took some top round, cut it into thin strips, threw in some soy, Worcestershire, and herbs, and let it marinate for about 3 hours. Once I was ready, I laid several pieces onto the air fry tray. And just looking at this, you can see where the major problem with a device like this is. You just can't fit very much in here at one time. In fact, it's kind of a comical amount. I even looked online to see if I could find a dehydrate tray that was small enough to be able to fit in here, and unfortunately I couldn't. Because of that, we just had to sort of make do with what we got. So I set it to 165 degrees and set the timer for 9 hours. Once that got done, here is the resulting beef jerky. And if you look at this, it is fantastic beef jerky. I personally like my beef jerky a little bit on the dry side, which is why I set it to 9 hours. And you can see that it is that. In fact, it's a little bit on the crispy side on a couple of pieces. That's okay though, because that's really how I meant to make it. So it did the job really well, but the only problem is that I was only able to make a handful, and I mean a literal handful of beef jerky. That's an awful lot of work for such a small amount. Let me know down in the comments if the dehydrate feature would still be something that would be worth it for you. Really like to know what you guys think about that. The Ninja AF101 Air Fryer is a super simple device. For all intensive purposes, pretty much all you're going to do in this thing is a little bit of roasting and air frying. It doesn't have any fancy features and the maximum capacity is only about 4 quarts. But I'll tell you what, it does work really well, it's uncomplicated, and it really doesn't take up a whole lot of space. If you need something small for an apartment or an RV or something like that, something like this might just be up your alley. However, if you do need larger capacity or some more robust features, then this is the kind of thing you're just going to sort of pass on. I'll tell you what though, the price is pretty hard to beat. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Ninja AF101 Air Fryer, I do have an Amazon affiliate link for it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, I do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. If you like this video, but this thing just isn't quite what you need, I do have a playlist right here that's got all of the unboxings and reviews that I've done for countless air fryers on this channel. If you check that out, I guarantee you're gonna find something you like better. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon. Until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.